Hi there, I'm Katie Wagner. Welcome to Social Media Help Desk. This is the time every week when we get together to talk about what's new in social media and share some of the advice we have for how to run your social media better. So today I'm here with one of our content editors, Layla.
Hello.
And one of our web designers, Angie.
Hi.
And we always start off with the news of the week. And this week we have interesting news on Facebook. Facebook has not taken 3D photos. Do either of you have a new enough iPhone to do it?
I do not, no. I don't, but I did hear that you can buy a plugin. So even with the Samsung phone, you would be able to plug in this device that would then take the 360 photo for you. So,
as long as it doesn't make me switch to an iPhone, that seems like the dark side. But if there's a plug-in, I could do that. And maybe I know what to get you both for Christmas now.
There we go.
We need some upgraded iPhones. So basically, it takes 2D photos that you take on your phone, and it balances, I don't understand all the technology here, but it balances the foreground and the background so that they come out as 3D photos in your feed. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, would it make you guys stop and look at posts more if they were in 3D?
it has made me see it every time.
Yeah?
Yeah, because now you can already upload Facebook photos that are in 3D.
Yeah.
And it immediately prompts you, like, this is a 3D photo, and it's kind of fun to
like virtual reality.
Yeah. You can actually tilt your phone. It's very similar to that, where you can either swipe it or you can tilt your phone and kind of view it as well. So.
Okay. To give me an example of something you've seen a 3D photo of, like how are people using this?
I've seen a lot of my friends use it mainly. I haven't seen any businesses use it yet, but they would do it when they're on top of the hill from after they've done their long hike, and they take a panoramic photo of a 360 of everything that they're looking at. So it's very nice to see it from their point of view.
So I'm immediately thinking realtors, right?
For sure.
Open houses, or you show the lot, you know, where it is. What else? I had another thought while you were talking, and now I don't remember.
I'm thinking like Google Maps, almost like where you go into a business and you can actually like see around more than just the flat.
Like, what if you move into a new office? You want to give me the tour?
Right.
Okay, that could be cool. Events. If you throw events for your business, like maybe it's a live 3D, or not a live, but a 3D photo from the inside of the event that's happening there. All right, good business uses.
Yeah.
All right, and the next news item is that Pinterest has announced its holiday shopping trends. So Pinterest is a huge shopping channel. The majority of the audience there is women. They're women in the 25 to 50 range, and they do a lot of shopping. They buy a lot of things. If you've ever visited our office here in Orange County, we have blue and white chevron rugs that I got off Pinterest, and I searched blue and white chevron rug, you know, and I got the rugs and ordered them that way. A lot of people do that. And about 62 million people are using Pinterest now. So if you have a product to sell, that might be somewhere you want to be. And they've released these trends, and they say that home decor has seen the biggest year-over-year growth, and it's up 123% in searches this year. Jewelry is up 37% compared to 2017. And Legos and eco-friendly games, that category is up 32%. So especially if you have a product in one of those categories, it might be a good time to get on Pinterest. They're predicting this, of course, ahead of this year's shopping season. They're saying these are really popular categories and places people are looking for items to buy on the channel. Do you guys shop on Pinterest?
Not often.
No?
No.
What about nursery things? No?
I get ideas,
Okay.
and then I think I shop around other places. But for me, Pinterest is still like the actual, like the idea board still.
Yeah, I use it a lot that way too. Decor or outfits or hair.
Or still like the DIY. Like I
Yes.
like something and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to make it on my own because I can't afford to pay for it.
Right. So we taught Pinterest boot camp last Friday, and we had a stat that Pinterest is the 4th largest traffic source in the world.
Wow.
So it is driving a lot of traffic to people's
believe it.
websites and having you check out a lot of products.
I believe that too, because especially when I'm on Google and I'm just searching things that are of interest to me, I end up actually on a Pinterest board that someone has created. So without being a Pinterest user and without wanting to necessarily browse on Pinterest, Google naturally points me in that direction.
Well, because it's a big repository of items on certain topics, right? Pictures, articles, videos, a lot of people are putting that content out on Pinterest, and Google's finding it and indexing it.
Yeah.
So good. So if you are in the home decor, jewelry, or Lego business, this would be a good time to get on Pinterest ahead of this holiday shopping season. And so a lot of times when people are trying to put their products out on social media in order to get eyes to their website or clicks for sales, that sort of thing. We think about advertising being a good tactic for that. We do a lot of digital advertising here at the agency. We think it's a good thing. But sometimes, Layla, clients are confused about which platform do I need to be on. Like, I want to run ads. I don't have an unlimited budget. Like, do I run Facebook ads or Instagram ads or LinkedIn ads or Google ads? Like, how do you pick? And I know you've been looking into this recently. Tell me what somebody should be considering about this.
Yeah, so this was a discussion I was having with another one of our coworkers, Taylor, thinking more about as a client, you have a certain audience that you are looking to be involved in, and you have to consider what steps they take to find your product and how often should you be in front of them and what times should you be in front of them. So the one that really stood out from the other advertising platforms was LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is something that is meant for businesses more so than for personal shopping or for gift shopping. So that one really stood out as an advertising platform that if you are in the B2B space, you should be on LinkedIn. And you will catch people when they are in their office hours, which is a more likely moment for them to even be interested in your B2B product. So that was, I don't know, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I actually like LinkedIn because you can target more based on someone's profession or industry or job title. They have more robust targeting that way than some of the other channels do. And so, yeah, if you are in a situation where for your business you need to target people based on where they work or what they do for a living or what level management they are, something like that, then I think LinkedIn's really, really good for that.
Yeah.
I've actually seen it be effective sometimes for B2C products as well, as long as they're products that you can target based on what somebody does for a living. Right? A product for dentists, let's say, or whatever that is.
Very good point.
Yeah.
And then the next one is Facebook. And so Facebook also allows you to do that targeting based on job title. But I've seen more often that Facebook's data on that is a little less high quality as LinkedIn.
It's not as robust, for sure. And I think of Facebook as a place to target based on interests, right? Or behavior more than anything else.
Definitely. And it's something that we come across a lot is that Facebook tends to be a more of a leisurely app. Same thing with Instagram. So you'll catch people when they are on their downtime, when they're looking at photos of their family or of their friends. And so if you are advertising among them, you have to really begin to think about the content that you post because you have to try to blend in with them. You can't be showing off your big product in Facebook and Instagram so much. So.
Yeah, because a lot of that content is personal, you're saying. And so in order to put your product there, you have to kind of make it more social, right? Have that approach. Whereas LinkedIn, people are used to seeing business messages. So it's a little more business oriented. Because LinkedIn's the most professional social media channel. Facebook's a little more social. It's more friends and family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so really too, I think a question among online advertising platforms, do I advertise on Facebook or do I advertise on Instagram is a very direct question I've been asked in the past. And my answer usually is with that, do you have content that is visually pleasing? I think that's where Instagram really almost warrants it. Otherwise, people will scroll past you very quickly.
The aesthetics matter.
The aesthetics matter. And then also, who is your audience? Because we do see a skew towards the younger people being more active on Instagram as opposed to Facebook. There's definitely still people on Facebook that are younger, but that's where you tend to see a split off between those two platforms.
It's interesting because advertising on Facebook and Instagram is really the same thing, right?
Yes.
Facebook owns Instagram. And so you set up Instagram ads in the same Facebook ads manager and literally putting them on Instagram is a button you click. Yes, I want it on Instagram. No, I don't want it on Instagram. And so while people tend to think of them as similar audiences, and I think they are, it's more social use and similar type demographics, but you have to decide, is your ad, you're saying, attractive enough? Really, is what you're selling pleasing enough aesthetically that it's going to get noticed in an Instagram feed, whereas that's less important in a Facebook feed.
Exactly. And then the final one that I think is definitely important to discuss is Google. And so LinkedIn, we've said, is more for the business owners and for people who are using your product within their careers. Facebook and Instagram is more social. And then Google, I find, is really great for immediate solutions to people's problems. Because I find myself usually taking out Google when I have an exact question and I know a plumber near me. That's an emergency moment. As soon as I click on the first link and you are able to give me a phone number to call, or you say you're going to reach out to me immediately and you're going to talk to me about my problem, great. That's a place where I think Google advertising thrives for businesses.
Yeah, I think you've hit on the major difference for me between Google advertising and digital advertising, or Facebook advertising, let's call it, is that Google is about proactive searching. It's people who are searching, they are looking for something you have to offer, and you just want to make sure they find your business first. Whereas social advertising is more about putting it in front of people who might have an interest, but don't necessarily know you exist yet. If they knew about you, they'd want more information, but they're not actively looking for something related to your business. Whereas on Google, they are. So 2 different approaches. Sometimes we recommend testing both social ads and Google ads, because you can really determine which is going to be most effective pretty quickly. And so sometimes we'll say, test them against each other, see where the budget is going further, and then shift your resources, because I think this is fair to say, Google is typically more expensive, right? It's typically going to take a little bit of a larger budget to get traction on Google ads as opposed to social media ads. And so that might not be a bad thing. If you get more conversions off Google, it's totally worth it. But weigh the pros and cons there, because if you're spending the same amount of money, you want to know where it's going further.
And think an important thing to add to it being an more expensive campaign, Google also requires that you have a good enough website, which Angie, you would be able to speak on as the web department. What does Google look at when you come from an ad? When you land on a website, what happens?
Right, so you want to make sure your site is SEO friendly, so you want to make sure you have all of your keywords, and especially in all of your images. You need to make sure that it's optimized for mobile. Google's starting to penalize websites for that, so you really need to look at your website on a bunch of different platforms to make sure that it's up and running efficiently, so that when ads are served, the viewers are seeing.
A lot of search traffic is coming from mobile, right? So if I'm Googling something on my phone, I'm clicking through to your website right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And constantly checking your website, making sure everything is up to date and current, are all good things to keep in mind.
Yeah. And then it matches too. If you are going to say one thing in an ad and then you just send everybody to your homepage, that doesn't resonate with people. You need to make sure that you are immediately answering their questions, which we have a landing page.
Well, I was going to say, that's the argument for a landing page, right? You create a destination where, and this is true for social media ads too, whatever ads you're creating, when they click through, you want them to land on a page that makes sense. And is designed to convert them to customers, right?
Yeah.
Is designed to get them to then take the next step. It's not enough to go to your website. Now we need them to buy or sign up or call you, whatever that next conversion level is.
Yeah.
Cool. So what should somebody really be thinking about, Layla, when they're saying, okay, I have this ads budget, I sort of know the channels are different. What kinds of things should we be looking at for how you make those decisions?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, you should be looking at who is your target customer. Specifically trying to drill into their thought process, see which steps they take from just becoming aware of who these people are in the market that they could potentially give their business to, and then how they get from the awareness to the deciding moment to choose to purchase your product. So that whole buying cycle is important to know before you start online advertising. And then the budget, like you said, knowing how much money you have to spend realistically. There's a testing period that you should definitely set some money aside for. So what is the minimum amount you would like to use for testing, and what is your max? These are important things, and then from there you can start narrowing down at least which platform you are able to be on, so that you're targeting the right people and that you are able to actually reach them with a decent amount of money. And from there, it's also about the content that you have available as a business. So after you know who they are, try to make sure that you are sending them things that they would be interested in at that time. So I recommend taking some time on each channel and walking through the buying cycle yourself and seeing what comes up currently, and if you think that you would be a competitor in that space and you would look better as a business, or you would be able to present your ads there.
Okay. All right, good. And I'll say one more thing about ads before we move on, and it's something that came up with a coaching client we were working with last week, and that sometimes, depending on what your product is, it's not the kind of thing, you're talking about the buying cycle, that somebody's going to click right from an ad and make a purchase. This particular client is a technology company, and the hardware they sell is thousands of dollars. Yeah. So it's very hard to run a Facebook ad and get them to click and spend $3,000. So it may be a matter of setting up an ads, what we call an ads funnel, where you're sending them from that Facebook ad to a white paper to read or to a video to watch, and then retargeting those people with another ad that might take them to the purchase option. So you're really building in more education in a series of ads that lead you through the buyer cycle. It gets a little bit more complex. If you need more information about that, just email us, tips@kwsmdigital.com, and we're happy to walk you through that and help you decide what might be best for your business, right? Yeah. One more piece of news we wanted to share with you. Twitter has made a change to the way they're counting emojis when you put emojis into a tweet. So you guys know that you can now have 280 characters in Twitter. It used to be 140, now it's 280. Still isn't that much room, but a little more. But one of the things was that emojis, you know, those little pictures you put in there, were taking up more space. And so like the hands up guy might take less space than the flag, and you know, the thumbs up might be more space, whatever that is. And people couldn't count their character counts, because who knows how much my emoji is going to take up. But now Twitter says all emojis are going to count as 2 characters. So if you have an emoji, now you have 278 characters to write what you're going to write. But I know very few people that just use one emoji, right?
They go all out.
Yeah,
They go all out.
Yeah, you're either all in for the emojis or not,
Yeah.
right? I'm a not person, but people love them. We have a lot of clients they do well for. And so emojis are, if they're important to you on Twitter, now you can know that they each count 2 characters and put as many of those as you want in there.
So one caveat to that news is that if you do choose to customize your emojis and you drop into the further options of colored hearts and colored skin tones and all that, you will be hit with a little bit more character count. So Twitter is doing that mostly because of their own policies. They don't feel like you need to pick the emoji with a certain hair color. Everyone can just be the same hair color. Why do you have to discriminate between?
It's a valid point, right?
Yeah.
I don't need emojis that look like me. You know, it's the thumbs up is
It works.
Yeah, it's good. It actually makes me laugh. Sometimes I get emojis in texts from people, clients who text me, and everybody uses the thumbs up emoji when they get what you're saying. But I like the clients that really do customize it based on their own skin tone to look like their thumbs up. So I appreciate that not all the thumbs up are the same. All right, good. And then, you know, let's talk about another thing that's near and dear to our heart, which is blogging. We build a lot of websites here. We do a lot of SEO, search engine optimization. And one of the things that keeps search engine optimization relevant is blogging regularly. That's not the only reason to blog. There's a lot of reasons. We're big blogging believers. And Angie, maybe you could talk about why would somebody choose to blog?
Right. So not only is it great for SEO, but it makes you a thought leader in your industry. And it's also kind of a fun way to say to your colleagues and your other clients, look at this blog I read, or this blog I wrote.
Check this out.
Check this article I wrote.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to share all this on your social channels as well. So say you wrote this whole article, and you can pull pieces of that and post it on LinkedIn or post it on Facebook, Instagram, you can repurpose that same information on multiple different platforms.
Yeah, it also gives you original content that you can post. You could even just post a link to the article, and then it links right back to your website, right? And so that's what we do here. We share all our blogs out on our social, and you don't have to think of something to post that day. It gives you the content already.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so as you're sitting down, say once a week to write your post, there's a couple things that you want to think about. So the first one, your photos. So the photos of your blog, it plays a huge role in your aesthetic. So,
Yes.
like here on our KWSM blogs, we have a very, I don't know, I don't want to say, but we have a very, 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 very
unique aesthetic.
Yes, I would
Let's
say.
call it that.
All of our images kind of flow and work together. So you want to think about that, and the image itself might be what convinces people to actually read your blog. Like when I'm on
attention, right?
When I'm on Facebook or even LinkedIn, and I see an interesting photo, even if I don't catch the headline, it might be interesting enough for me to even click into the blog. And also adding photos within your blog, so it can help break up the copy as well. We tend to, not everyone likes to read word for word the entire blogs, and kind of can skim a little bit.
Yeah,
so
skip around.
Having images in there to help break up each section might help, break up the fluidity of all, paragraph, as well as keeping you on the blog a little bit longer, which is great for SEO.
Yes, that's good.
So I'm talking about photos here, and you're probably wondering what kind of photos.
Yeah.
So we don't really want to use stock-like photos. I know that a lot of people aren't professional photographers, so you might default to using stock sites. So try to find photos that appear more authentic and fit in line with your brand and aesthetic. So that's one suggestion.
I find that people are really guilty of this on their blogs. And I don't know why, because not many people use stock photos on their website, or not as many people, for like the big header photos or whatever.
Right.
But on their blog, they're perfectly continuous in stock, and it's like, this is still representing your brand.
In line,
right?
These great photos in the blog.
So you've seen those pictures of people shaking hands and people in the office, and they all look alike. Right. Try to pick something, you're saying, more unique, right? Something that represents you a little better.
Right. And there are sites out there that are royalty free where you can go out and find photos that, are shot with a different angle, or they have some different lighting, so it doesn't look like the same guy you see on the billboard on the highway every night when you're home. You're like, I've seen that guy in 5 different, different places today on different, websites. So, so that's, one suggestion for photos. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind is try to think outside the box. If you're writing a blog about strategic business planning or something along that line, maybe use a photo of a chess piece or someone playing chess, so it's more of like a metaphorical sense rather than a bunch of people sitting around a conference table looking at a stack of papers.
Right. Me, strategic business planning.
Thinking about that from a less literal sense. And then I think another way is just kind of switching up your photos, so you're not using the same kind of photo for every blog. Again, when you're looking at your main blog page, it kind of has a similar aesthetic to Instagram. When you're looking at your main grid page, you see all the different photos, and I think maybe planning that out a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. Well, because if we use literal photos for all our blogs, they're all about social media. So it'd be people on computers or phones over and over again. But you're saying try to capture the spirit of what you're saying and use something that sort of translates. Like if you're talking about reaching goals, you do like a target or a arrow. What is that? Archery. Something like that. Okay, got it.
Okay, so some great tips for photos.
Yeah.
So now we have to think about the headline, and you want to make sure you use an SEO-friendly headline. And what I mean by that is think about all the keywords that you've included in your blog and what your main blog is about. So you want to make sure that those keywords are included in the headline, because even if you have a cute, quirky headline, it doesn't have anything to do about what you're actually talking about, people aren't going to find your blog.
Well, that's what Layla was saying, where people go on Google to search for the answers to their questions. You better be sure your title answers the question, or else why would I click?
Or even the headline is the question.
Yes.
And that does really great for SEO.
Yeah.
The biggest headline you have in your blog is what Google also ranks as the most important key takeaway.
Yeah.
So if you really make sure that is your key takeaway, Google will notice.
Right.
So we like catchy titles as much as the next person, but you've got to make sure you have enough substance in there that I know what the blog's about.
Right.
Okay, good.
And another thing I want to point out was including different quotes and breaks. So by this, if there's any highlighted key phrases that you can include in your blog to, again, break up all of the different paragraphs of text, so that it makes it easy for people to, if they want to share the blog, they can even just pull that quote and include it rather than just highlighting the link and sharing it. And another way is to include like a tweetable phrase,
I like this.
so that, and we do that with a couple of our blogs I've seen, where once you hit post, viewers see it and they see your quote it's already in a box, and you click on it, you can tweet it immediately. So
there are like apps and plugins you can install in your blog that will help you pull out tweetables.
Right.
And you're right, it just appears in a little box, and I click on it and it tweets.
Yeah. So you're making it super easy for people to share that. They can change it if they want, but at least so they can share that blog,
Well, and the more people you have tweeting your blog, the better reach you're getting.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons to share this content on social media too, is that you're sort of amplifying it, right? You're putting it out to a broader audience, and all the places you can put it, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google, like those are all places you can put things that people will find it, and now they're back on your website reading your blog.
Right.
That's tremendously powerful to drive traffic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. More people to our website, the better, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you, Angie. If you want to see some examples of some blogs, we have one. We blog on it every day, actually. You could go today and see a new article. Our blog's at KWSMdigital.com. And we're going to see you back here 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern, next Tuesday, same time, same place. We do this every Tuesday, but if you need help and advice between now and then, there are a couple places you can go. Our blog's one, but also we have a YouTube channel. And YouTube has videos, past episodes of this show, but also our social media tip of the day videos. Lots of content you can watch there, learn more about social media. And then at any time, you can send us an email, tips@kwsmdigital.com. Ask us your questions, and we will answer them for you in the email, but also on this show. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon. If you want to learn more about LinkedIn, maybe the ads on LinkedIn, come join us this Friday for our LinkedIn Boot Camp. It's from 9 to noon here at our office in Aliso Viejo, California. And there's information on that on our website as well. Okay, until then, have a good week, and we will see you soon.